Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Thursday Live, ladies and gentlemen. Today I have retention mastery on the docket for you. We're going to talk about expert strategies for keeping top talent in your kids' program. So I'm going to share with you 5 tactics today that you guys, or 5 strategies that you guys could be using to retain the best talent in your program. And these are some outside of the box stuff, right? I have the core fundamentals that I always like to teach. These are going to be a little bit outside of that realm today, just to give you guys some creative ideas that can really help get your staff bought back in. Some of these you may recognize, and they're just tried and true, and they need to be hammered home. But then some of them I'm excited about because I know that they're a little outside of the box, but they are extremely effective nonetheless. For those of you who are new here, welcome to the group, to the channel. If you're watching us later on YouTube, you guys can always catch us live in our Facebook group. There will be a link in the description. So if you want to head over there, join the group. You can participate in these discussions live, where I'll answer your questions at the end of each and every live as it pertains to the topic. All right, so that is YouTube. For everybody on Facebook, my name is Charlie. My wife and I run Kids Program Solutions, where we help kids program owners just like you guys deal with the issues you're facing. Right now, we are really hammering home the staff issues, and we've got something special for you guys at the end of the live today. So hang out. These lives normally take around 10 to 15 minutes, right? Or if you're watching this later, if you want to jump right to the end and see what that special the special program that we're rolling out to help you guys with your staff problems, make those things a thing of the past, then you can jump to there. All right, let's get into it today. Let's do it. Okay, so retention mastery, expert strategies for keeping the top talent in your kids program. All right, so personalized professional development. All right, so you can tailor professional development plans to each staff member's unique interests, strengths, career aspirations, and then these individualized approach, these demonstrate to your staff you are very much interested in their personal development, growth, and fosters a sense of loyalty and commitment to the organization. Okay, so how do you apply this? What you can do is you can actually sit down, draw out a roadmap for your staff member, right? And you say, hey, here's where you're at now. Where do you want to be in 3 years? Where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 10 years? What do those professional goals look like? What do those personal goals look like? And then you tie that map, that roadmap that you write out with them, right? First off, taking the time to do that is going to really help you understand that staff member. But then once you have it completed, you then show them how the business is going to help them achieve that, right? Okay, so here at the 3-year mark, you wrote here for your personal goal, buy a house or rent an apartment or whatever, right? This is how we're going to accomplish that through the professional goal, right? Is we're going to get you to this coach role, which will have this amount of hours, which will pay this amount of money, right? Which should put you in a very advantageous position to achieve your personal goals, as well as start moving towards that professional goal that you mentioned to me was, be the head coach or be the program director or whatever, okay? So actually sitting down and talking about this and then writing it down, mapping it out for them to where they can see the next 3, 5, 10 years can go a really, really long way in your staff's mind of, wow, my boss actually cares about what exactly they can help me with. And we wrote out a plan together. And when you come in to do their evaluations with you, whatever time frame they do these evals with you on, you can call back to that document and be like, hey, here's where we're at. We're a year in on this plan. We're making good track towards this. Matter of fact, we might hit this professional goal a little bit early, which means your personal goal might also be a little bit early. So these are great ways to just score really, really solid wins in the staff's mind and keep you on the personalized side of helping your staff achieve their goals. Okay, and so when they feel like it's personalized to them, they're going to have a much higher sense of loyalty to the business. Okay, to you as an owner. Okay, encourage work-life balance. This may seem obvious, but I'm going to try to give you guys some key insights here. So promote a healthy work-life balance by offering flexible schedule, remote work options when available, or recharge days. Consider hosting family-friendly events or offering childcare support to demonstrate understanding and support for your staff's personal lives. So what you can do is you can get really creative with this, right? You can add as like a benefit to your program is you can say, hey, we pay this amount hourly. If you have children that you need to take to a child care facility, we offer a special bonus structure for this of, hey, you can get $300 a month that goes directly towards paying for the child care. that this is a great way to personalize the incentive programs that you want to roll out that support that work-life balance. It's not enough to just say, hey, we gave you an extra $300 on your paycheck, do whatever you want with it. Sometimes it really helps them to know that that money is specifically allocated towards supporting their family and supporting that family unit and time with them, or time away from them if that's necessary. Okay, recharge days. Recharge days are an extremely effective tool to tell your staff that you want them at their maximum, okay? So the way this would function is if you see a particular staff member who is not performing up to the task, right? You notice there may be, normally they're at 95%, 100% in, and now they're 80 and 75, and you slowly see that breaking down. What I would refer to that as is the emotional battery, okay? Their emotional battery is starting to die down on you. Recharge days are specifically that instance, right? Some people would call them mental health days, but I never found, like, I don't want to be an enabler, okay? I don't want to enable that kind of negative thinking where someone's like, oh, I have mental health issues. Rather, it's like, look, everybody needs the chance to recharge. Whether you have mental health issues or not, everybody needs that time away to rebuild themselves, okay? So call them a recharge day. That's just me personally. But you can call them mental health days, whatever you guys want to call them. But like I said, a recharge day. And it's going to come across really strongly in terms of setting the culture in the business. When you notice someone isn't at their maximum, maybe they're an 8 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10, and you're coming up to them and saying, you need to take a recharge day because my expectation is 10 out of 10, and this is me being a leader and providing you the resources you need to be back at a 10 out of 10, which is a day off, right? So recharge days are specifically to shape the culture, and I love that word because, again, it sets the precedent with your staff that your expectation is that they're at their maximum, and when they're not, they need to take a break. Okay, family-friendly events, like if you want to do like a family picnic, if you have a lot of staff members who are kind of budding families or going a little bit later into the years and their families are starting to grow up with them, constantly just putting an emphasis on, like, it's not enough for you to be a family-friendly business to your customer, that's one thing, but for your staff, it's like, hey, we're going to throw a picnic, it's going to be for our staff exclusive, we're going to give you guys this, that, we're going to do some games, and it could be a 2-hour picnic on a Saturday or something like that. It goes a long way with your staff to see that you're putting in the emphasis to show them that you care about their families, not just themselves, right? Because if their family's happy, chances are that staff member's going to be really, really happy too. And this also goes for maybe you have a bunch of single people, right? Just think about your staff and where they're at, what phase of life they're in, and really help make them feel like the workplace is more than just a workplace. It's a place that's concerned about them holistically, meaning all aspects of them as a person. Their personal lives, their professional lives. I don't believe in them being separated. They don't. Human beings are not good at that. So it's just better to understand that they have a balance between the two of them and that the balance needs to be struck and then maintained. Okay, empower staff with autonomy. All right, what I should have really wrote this as was, how do I get my staff to be more responsible? Give them more responsibility, okay? I know that seems kind of backwards, but you have to allow your staff members to take ownership of their roles by providing opportunities for decision-making and problem solving, right? If you want somebody to grow up, you gotta give them the chance to grow up. You have to give them those problems that they can begin to solve using their own thinking. And if they mess up, so be it. They need the room to fail in order for them to really feel like they're getting the autonomy, okay? So this empowerment boosts their confidence and job satisfaction, fostering long-term retention. You know why? Because when they feel like they're able to make their own decisions, they feel like they kind of own a little piece of the business because they're in charge of this little section of the business, right? So it's like, imagine you give somebody a Walmart, you're taken into this section of Walmart, right? I give you a section of Walmart, we'll say that. And then in this little back section of Walmart, I say, hey, whatever goes on these shelves and sells, it's totally up to you, okay? But it just has to be within these parameters, all right? You're going to feel a real big sense of ownership of like, man, I'm making these decisions as to what goes on these shelves and how it sells and what it sells for. Like, that this is just an example, right, to show that you would feel a sense of ownership even though you don't own the shelves, you don't own the product, you don't own the building, you don't own anything about it, right? But you do have a sense of ownership, and that goes a really, really, really long way to getting someone bought into the grander goal of the business. So if you want your staff to take responsibility, give it to them. Give them responsibility. Give them the opportunity to exercise their autonomy, to make decisions within a microcosm, right? Like, I'm not trying to give my flex coach, my part-time coach, I'm not trying to give them the the decisions that should be made by the owner, right? Those can be daunting and overwhelming, but maybe your program director or your manager or whatever you want to call them, that's going to be a good person to maybe start handing some ownership decisions to, because you want to see that responsibility flesh out buy-in and also give them the chance to wear the mantle. All right, it's going to go a long way. So remember, if you want your staff to care about the business, you have to give them responsibility within the business. All right, final and fifth tip: offer opportunities for cross-functional collaboration. Okay, that's a fancy way of saying challenge people by giving them something new. Okay, so encourage staff members to work on projects or initiatives outside of their primary roles. Here's a great example. Let's say that I have a staff member who's a great coach, but I think that they have some other talents that are outside of coaching. For example, they are extremely good at communications, like with networking. They're good at talking to people. They're really good at generating leads. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give them a project. Maybe I say, hey, I'm going to spend $250 on a Facebook ad. I want you to throw together some ads that you think will do well to generate students for this program, or specifically for this class time, or maybe it's an event, a birthday party, something to that effect, a field trip. You pick a summer camp, whatever. What that'll allow you to do is really start to let your people flesh out other aspects that they've maybe never considered. And what this does is it does two things. First thing is it allows them to maybe identify a skill set they didn't even know they had, or a passion they didn't even know they had. Maybe they get into it and they're like, whoa, I love doing this. And now you've unlocked kind of like a part-time talent of like, yeah, this person's great at marketing. They're our coach, but we also pay them to do some marketing for us because they're phenomenal at it. And this is a great way to see those opportunities, or maybe even sales, or maybe whatever. You pick the skill, right? The other thing it can do is when someone jumps into a new realm, they can very quickly find that it's a lot harder than they thought it was going to be, right? We have this kind of uninformed optimism when we don't know what we're doing, and then we get this informed pessimism once we start doing it, which is we think it's going to just go all well and dandy, and then we get into it and we start hitting some obstacles and issues, right? And we have to start to kind of react to that. Now, you can either enjoy the challenge or you hate the challenge. If you enjoy the challenge, great, you have a new passion, you have a new skill set. If you hate the challenge, it will shape it in such a way where you're like, you know what? I'm going to focus on being a coach because this is something I'm really good at. I am not good at this part of the business. And it helps the staff member learn more about themselves. Okay. And ultimately you as well. And the great part is just you let them kind of make that decision for themselves. So that way it's like, hey, boss, you're in charge of marketing. I couldn't do your job. I don't know how to do that. You gave me a shot. I screwed it up. Right. And that's, again, giving them that responsibility. So this is great because it blends that previous of like, let's give them autonomy. Let's them make those decisions. Well, also, let's give them some new challenges, something that may be outside of their realm. And you don't let them you're not going to go up to them and be like, hey, this is now going to be a permanent part of your position. You're just going to say, hey, would you like a challenge? Here is a unique opportunity. It's going to be a one-time thing. And we'll see how you do. And then from there, you can kind of reevaluate. So make sure that you set the terms for your staff member, that you're not trying to just add stuff to their plate. It's just like, hey, I want to see, I think you would be good at this, but I don't know. It's really going to be determined by how well you execute under pressure. So this is a great way, again, to maybe flesh out some opportunities for your staff members that they don't know that they're going to be good at. Maybe they're intimidated by it. And like, dude, I'm a big believer in baptism by fire. Somebody's like, oh, I can't coach that age group. I can't do that skill set. I can't do this. I can't do that. Try. Give them the chance to try. It's going to go a long way that you had enough faith and willingness to just let them go out and fail, and then accept them back and be like, hey, no worries. Like, I knew failure was a potential outcome of this, and I still wanted you to do it because I believed in what you could accomplish, but it's okay. We've learned now that's not a skill for you. We're going to move on. Okay. All right, guys, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is our fifth. Sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, so implement a staff recognition program. I thought that was 5. Implement a staff recognition program. So this can be whatever level of creativity that you guys want. Okay, so establish a program that recognizes and rewards staff for exceptional performance, innovation, or contributions to the organization. This can include peer nominations. That's a massive one. Okay, massive to have peer nominations. Small tokens of appreciation or public acknowledgments. The peer nomination one, I love that. Where you want to do a system where they kind of like vote for the coach of the month or something like that. They can't vote for themselves. I would make that rule. Like, don't vote for yourselves. You got to be nominated. And kind of like and the reason I don't want them voting for themselves is because I want the staff to I want the coaches especially to be paying attention to what other coaches are doing a good job. So when time comes to nominate somebody, they go, oh yeah, such and such crushed it, right? They were doing a great job with this specific person, with this specific student, with this specific tactic, whatever. They're being super patient or being super energetic, whatever it was. Small tokens of appreciation or public acknowledgements, combining peer nominations and public acknowledgments can be great of like, hey, such and such was voted coach of the month by their peers. And that's what's also awesome is you don't want to make a us versus them scenario where it's like, oh, well, leadership is favoring this person. And so leadership is the one we should hate and this person too. And it's really leadership in them. And no, avoid all of that by having a peer nomination system and say, no, you voted this person in and this person has been democratically appointed as coach of the month. And then maybe if you want, you can just say, hey, you can't be coach of the month 2 times in a row to encourage the staff to look at other coaches potentially on the team. But if you have a small team, maybe you allow the same coach to get it in a row if you want, so you don't demotivate them. There's a lot of factors to consider there, but ultimately having a system like this really helps people. People want to be recognized. People want to know that someone is paying attention. So by showing appreciation for their hard work, you can boost staff morale and encourage long-term commitment to the organization. I would do a double effect here where I would tie the staff recognition program to some long-term incentives, okay? Whether that be pay bumps, promotional bonuses. I like using these in terms of like, hey, if I have 2 coaches that are really, really good competing for one head coach spot, the one coach who's gotten peer nominated more than the other has the edge, right? And tell them that. Right? Because it's like, look, if your peers are choosing you more often than anyone else, they're probably going to listen to you when you are appointed into a leadership role because they respect you, they saw you do the grind. And so these type of things make a big difference when I'm looking at candidate A, candidate B, and they're both really good. And it's like, well, candidate A has 5 more peer nominations than candidate B. Candidate A is the winner, right? Especially when it's a leadership role, okay? Because when they're nominated by their peers, that just tells you a lot about that person. That even their peers can identify, wow, this person's good at what they do. Okay, now that is the end. All right, so thank you guys for showing up for the call today. So what's going to happen is Allie's going to post our rebuilt, relaunched Staff Scaling Secrets link in the comments below. What you need to do is you need to go there, check out the presentation that we've prepared. It'll take, I think it's like a 15-minute video, 10-minute video, where we kind of basically overview all the different things that we've implemented into the program, okay? And to really, like, we've gotten feedback, and so therefore we've rebuilt it to really hammer home on the needs that you guys have, all right? So do me a favor. If you find value in this group and you find value on these calls, just go to that page, go to the video, watch the video, and if you feel that is definitely answering the problem, then go ahead and schedule that call and we'll talk about specifically if you're going to be a great fit for the program. The thing is I want you guys to know we can only take so many in the program, okay? Genuinely. I wish I could help everybody I possibly can, but we just can't, okay? So don't wait. Head over there, watch the video, book that call so we can get you into the program because we will have to eventually shut down enrollments to ensure that the people we do bring into the program get what we promised them, okay? We're going to continually try to scale up so we can provide services for all of you, but at the end of the day, we have to start with the groups that we have to start with so that we can ensure they get the value they need, okay? So spots are limited, time is limited, so try to head over there as soon as you possibly can. Again, it's a 10-15 minute video. If you feel that video really makes you feel like, man, this is the answer, head in there and you will absolutely not regret it, okay? I promise you, it is gonna be a ton of value for you guys, okay? So, cool. Well, I will see you guys next Thursday. Be on the lookout. We'll announce the next round of lives next week in the group, so you guys can be on the lookout for that. And I'm pretty excited about some of the stuff I got planned coming up. It's a little more high level in terms of like what the future of kids programs is gonna look like with a lot of the changes that are kind of happening to the world, the economy, those kind of things right now. So be on the lookout for that content to drop next week. And as always, thank you guys for your time. God bless. And we'll see you guys next Thursday at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. See you guys later.